Ford celebrates 120 years. That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us is Ford's Archives and Heritage Brand Manager, Ted Ryan. Hi, Ted.
How are you doing today, Fred?
Great to see you once again. And June 16th marks 120 years since the formation of Ford Motor Company. Give us a bit of an overview here of what's going on.
It's exciting. So on the 16th, Ford filed the paperwork. You'll appreciate this. I did the research. I was like, what happened on day two? On day two, the executives all took a day off, and then seven workers went into the office to work. And on day three, the executives showed back up and formed executive committees. So kind of fitting. But 120 years later, we're celebrating Ford's history by three different activities, and a fourth that I can tease today. First is we've created a Spotify playlist that have 121 songs, and you can find it just typing in Ford 120. It's an unusual playlist. It's a lot of fun. I was stunned when I began to pull it together how many people have sung about the Ford V8 and the famous Deuce Coupe, the 32 Ford. Everybody knows it from Beach Boy fame, but it's also.
And then there's My Daddy Took My T-Bird Away. I'm sure
that's fun. That's on the list too. But we did songs about the Ford Probe and the Ford Anglia and the Cardinal and the F-Series, obviously a lot of country there. But with the Deuce Coupe, it's the most misheard lyric of all time in Bruce Springsteen song where he says, blinded by the light, he says, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night. That's actually referring to the Deuce Coupe. So we had a lot of fun, and I hope that your listeners and viewers will be able to get a chance to see it and see the wide variety. You know, everybody knows Mustang Sally, but there's a whole lot more than that. The other thing that we did is we've created a special menu in the Michigan area that is based on recipes in Ford's history. It may surprise you, but Ford has actually published over 3,200 recipes via the Ford Times magazine. We had 9 different cookbooks that reach millions in circulation. And so we've taken a couple of those recipes at our Michigan locations and we've updated them for today. So
not necessarily tailgating stuff, right?
No, but one of them is Henry Ford's favorite cookie, the chocolate chip cookie that was made with soybean, because Henry Ford was a huge advocate of sustainability, and he actually had a soybean processing plant at the Rouge. We use soybean in our trunks of our car as lining, and then the byproducts, he had a chocolate chip cookie. So pretty interesting.
Way ahead of his time when it comes to soy, right?
Yeah.
and a lot of other things.
Then the last activation is one I'm proudest of. It's the Ford Heritage Vault, which is fordheritagevault.com. And we have now added location photography to the vault. The vault is insanely popular. We in May alone, we had 1.7 million searches and 500,000 assets downloaded. Keep in mind, Fred, there's only 13,000 things in the system. So for 500,000 downloads in a given month, that means every asset had to have been downloaded multiple times. But we added almost 500 photos of 50 Ford locations around the world. Willow Run, where we built the World War II bombers, Highland Park, where the assembly line was developed, the Rotunda, the 34 World's Fair, the 64 World's Fair, all these great Ford locations, Dagenham in England and Cologne in Germany, where you can now see the Ford plants that were in those different areas.
Really interesting. And there was something else you were going to tease us with?
The teaser is to keep your eye on the Ford social channels on the 16th, and you'll see a special video that was created by Wyden and Kennedy. And all I can tell you is that they have come up with a new way to blow out birthday candles. So on the Ford social channels, you should see it appearing on the 16th. It's a very clever video, and it pays homage to our history, but frankly, at the same time, Fred, it points to the future, because the future is battery electric vehicles, and the Ford Lightning, the F-150 that my wife so happily owns and drives everywhere. She said, I never thought myself as a truck girl, but I love this Lightning. And, you know, it harkens to the past and points to the future and has a little twist on how you can blow out a birthday candle.
Well, you've got us intrigued here. Now, a lot of people may not know that before the Ford Motor Company, he actually had another company, right? I mean, you're the historian.
He
Tell
had
me about it.
two. He had the Detroit Automobile Company, and he had the Henry Ford Company, and both of them failed. And one was later turned into Cadillac when Henry Leland was brought in to replace Henry Ford as the leader, and he converted it into Cadillac. And then Henry later got even when Lincoln went bankrupt, and Henry Leland had founded that, and Henry Ford bought Lincoln from Cadillac, and obviously it became an icon in the Ford line in the Ford family ever since. And
A lot of history there, really interesting stuff. And we can point people to the Ford Heritage Vault site, but there's a lot more out there too, right?
There is on, like I said, on the Spotify, you've got the Ford 120 playlist, and then on the Ford social channel, at Ford on Instagram and Twitter are going to be the two main sources where the content is going to be delivered. There's a couple of birthday messages, a couple of surprises, that one video that's going to be coming out. And we've wanted to pay homage to 120 years because not too many companies reach that tremendous milestone. But at the same time, we wanted to do it in a fun way. So the things like the recipes and the songs and the vault are a special way to do it. I do have to say, I am in the newly dedicated Edsel B. Ford II Conference Center today. We were at a special ceremony last night with Edsel Ford, a longtime board of director member, the son of Henry Ford II, grandson of Edsel Ford originally, and great grandson of Henry Ford, and they dedicated the conference center to him last night, and it's a fitting honor. And if you see people walking behind me, that's why today.
And is there going to be some cake?
There were cookies last night that had Edsel B. Ford II's photo on them. So I'm going to go snag a cookie because I heard there's a couple left over. So, but it's an exciting time for Ford, and Edsel was excited last night that his dedication was happening in the middle of this week where we're celebrating Ford Motor Company's 120th.
Well, terrific. Congratulations to Ford on reaching 120. Just amazing. Ted Ryan, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you, Fred. Thanks for having me on today.